Welcome, everybody. Happy Friday. Let us know where you're tuning in from. What are you grateful for today? A lot of people don't know this about me. By the way, my name's Alex Montalenti. I'm the CEO of Grader. We have Mario Hurley, Director of Marketing. And one of the things I'm committed to is actually starting a gratitude movement, right? So I like to begin the sessions with what are we grateful for? Because I believe that if we begin with gratitude, that is going to replace fear. That's going to replace survival. That's going to put us in a state of gratitude. State of gratitude puts us in a state of abundance. State of abundance puts us in a state of creation. So then we can create our vision for 2026 and beyond. So I love it. Doyle says, I'm grateful for this season of building my business. Let's go, Doyle. Everybody else, let me know. What are you grateful for? Thankful for being here, says Maria Teresa. Sometimes we can just be grateful to be alive. I was taking an Uber and this gentleman was amazing. I said, how you doing? And he said, I'm grateful to be alive. And I said, that's an amazing comment. He's like, you know what I realized when I wake up in the morning, the first thing I do, take a mirror and I put it in front of my eyes with the lights off and I turn on the lights and I watch my pupil open up. And he's like, I'm alive. Right there in that moment, I've come to life. Like, boom, like Michelle said, the sun is out. I'm here and on time. I'm grateful for getting more confident. One more day alive. Let's go, everybody.
And wherever you are, I want you to imagine that we're all sitting all together in a nice big round table. All right. We're having an intimate conversation. You guys are not regular, ordinary folks. You guys are people with a vision. You guys are people that are up to something amazing in life. How many of you are family people? How many of you have husbands, wives, kids, grandkids? You have a purpose here. You're here to make a difference. You hear about legacy, right? Thanks for raising your hand, Doyle. So imagine we're all sitting together in this big round table. We're gonna have a powerful conversation. We're gonna create 2026. 2026 is gonna be like any other year, right? But what really makes a difference is what you have in your head. What you're going to tell life, how it's gonna go. And that's a very powerful move that we learned. This is why Real Greater exists nationwide. Real Greater exists because we told life, hey, we're going to be a brand to be recognized. We're going to be a household name that's going to make a difference in hundreds and thousands of agents. And we made it happen. But we're not done. We're just getting started. So welcome to this round table to really make things amazing for you. All right.
How's my microphone?
It's very nice.
Nice. All right. I love it. Grateful for what 2026 will bring. Grateful for breath. I'm grateful for 28 years of real estate to still be here and growing. Grateful for my family and friends. Grateful for good lab reports working on me for success in 2026 and beyond. Amazing, everybody. I love all this gratitude. One of my favorite things to do in the morning is actually send gratitude out. So this morning, I sent a message to my good friend Benazati. Mario, you know him. My friend
Sure do.
Benazati today hit 1 million subscribers on YouTube. I don't know if you all realize what it takes to get to 1 million subscribers, but it took him about 7 years. And he did it. And that is massive. He gets 10 million views on YouTube. It's really amazing. New York Times bestseller now because of his YouTube channel as well. And he just bought his dream home yesterday. So this gentleman continues to inspire me. So I sent him a beautiful gratitude message. He received all the gratitude. And I thought about what's going to happen today with all of you, right? There's 85 people on the call and counting. And we sent this to thousands. And it's interesting. Mario was telling me, he's like, you know what? I'm not getting a big response to talk about my business plan. And I'm like, that's because we all avoid writing a business plan, right? It's like, it's not a subject that we dive into and we go, hey, I'm going to go write my business plan. But if we take the time to ask the questions and we take the time to think about what our vision is for 2026, guess what? It starts to crystallize. It starts to become real. So my goal with you today, for those of you that actually stepped into this and said, you know what, I'm committed. I'm going to show up for this, even though I might not have a business plan, even though I don't know what this call is about. I want to build a future here. I'm going to ask you questions that are going to be thought-provoking. I'm going to ask you questions that are going to help you build that GPS to what 2026 and beyond will look like. So first of all, I'm looking for all of your commitment. Are you all here? Are you open? I want to hear that you're open and you're willing to build your plan for 2026 and beyond. Just say, I'm open and I'm willing. Or if you're not here for that, you're on the wrong plane. This is the plane that takes off. This is the plane that goes with the people that want to go somewhere, right? So if you're open and willing, I love it. I'm seeing all the open and willing. And we're not going to have all the answers to all the questions that I'm going to ask you. So just be prepared for that too. That's okay. I don't always have all the answers either. But when I ask the questions, at least I start to formulate what it looks like. Awesome. Let's do it. Open and willing, open and willing. Anything you want to share, Mario, before we get started on this beautiful visionary conquest we're about to take off on?
Yeah, definitely. The fact that this is going to translate into the best version you can come up with for 2026. We're gonna give you the best of what we know, and then you're going to tailor make it for yourself and take everything that inspires you, everything that's useful, and make use of it right away.
Bingo. So take out your notes. If you have like a notepad, I think that's for today. It would be useful to write some things down, literally start declaring the new future that you're going to create for 2026. Take some notes. I'll ask you some questions. We'll put some comments in the chat. We'll get each other inspired and let's do this. I'm excited. My name's Alex Montalenti, CEO of Real Grader. You have Mario Hurley, Director of Marketing at Real Grader. We're here to build your vision for 2026 and beyond. So, first of all, I love horizons. As you can see, I have a horizon in my background. I live on the ocean. I've always loved living on the ocean. That was a vision of mine. I would walk on the beach and say, one day, someday, I will be in one of these condos on the beach. And I made it happen. And then I got divorced, had to leave that condo. And I said, I'm coming back. And I came back and I made it happen again. Part of that is because I had a GPS. I had a vision of where I was going, right? So we could be here on the bottom left hand of the screen and we want to get there to this goal, some goal that we might have. And I love this little arrow with the heart because if we don't enjoy the journey, what the heck is the point? Right? I mean, I don't know about all of you, but I have people that pass away in my life. They're here and then they're gone. Just like that, like snap, like alive, dead. I'm not trying to be depressing. What I'm saying is if we don't enjoy the journey, really, what's the point? So as we go through this today, it's also about the journey, not just the destination, not just where you are, but actually what's going to happen in between and how we're going to enjoy every moment in gratitude, in abundance, in magic. Right? So my first question for you is just to start with, what is your goal for 2026? I know that's such a broad question, but it just gets the juices flowing. So put it in the chat. What is your goal for 2026? Maybe it's to double your business. Maybe it's to 4x your business. Maybe it's to be more present with your family. Maybe it's to take that trip to Fiji. Maybe it's to go to Bali. Maybe it's to live on the beach. I don't know. But something probably comes to mind when you think of a goal for 2026. So I love it. We got Gladys says, make more money. Let's be more specific, Gladys. Kathleen says 200,000 in income, double my business, organization, grow my business, 5x our business, take a 14-day trip to Italy. I love that. That's like a celebration trip right there. Work smarter, not harder. Barbara says 30 sales, 47 sales. So we're getting the juices flowing, right? Like you're starting to think like, what's my destination? What's the GPS? How will I know I actually got there? Can I celebrate at the end of the year? Good work, everybody. We're just getting the juices flowing, right? So now I want to show you one of the three models that I use for building a business plan. Okay. Just so happens today in West Palm Beach is Date with Destiny with Tony Robbins. I'm wearing a Tony Robbins hat. I have a Tony Robbins coach. They're always coaching me on this plan. This is called the 7 Forces of Business Mastery. Okay. This is Tony Robbins' model for how to create a business plan. So I'm going to share that. Then I'm going to share another one called Traction. And then I'm going to share a third one called the $1 Billion Blueprint or Bullseye, which was created by the owner of Kajabi. All three of these very similar. So watch the similarities because a business plan is really a business plan is really a business plan. The components that go into it, just people describe it differently. And trust me, I've had not every, but I've had how many coaches, Mario? Like at least 10 coaches who have showed me how to do business plans. So let's take this model to start with. You are here at point 1, and now we're going to have some strategic innovation that goes on throughout the year, right? How do we differentiate ourselves as a realtor? What kind of innovation can we create as a realtor, right? That's one of the things that you're going to put into your business plan. Then you have the CANI marketing, right? Constantly and always never-ending improvement. So we're constantly evolving our marketing. In real estate, we are marketing people. So we have to constantly evolve our marketing to stay ahead of the competition. Then we have our sales mastery. We have to be good at sales. We have to be good at getting the listing. We have to be good at the negotiation side of the business, right? Then we have the financial and legal aspects. Ooh, the commission structure. Ooh, the legal lawsuits between Zillow. Ooh, the Compass deal, right? Like all of that distraction and noise that we need to be aware of because we might need to maneuver around it. Then we have the ability to optimize and maximize our business. When we have a working business model, we can optimize and maximize. When you have no revenue, there's not much to optimize and maximize. When you have revenue, you can optimize and maximize your revenue. And all of this needs to be done in a way where you're building a raving fan culture. In real estate, the raving fan culture is what? Anybody have a guess? What's behind the raving fan culture in real estate? Put it in the chat. Most of you know this word really well. Referrals, 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 right? If you build an amazing raving fan culture in your real estate business, you could just live off the referrals. You might not even need the marketing. You might not even need the innovation because you just have such a good business model, such a great raving fan culture, right? Now, until you have that, you need to build your sales mastery. You need to build your marketing. You need to build your innovation. And you need to navigate around the financial and legal constructs. So can we see how this business model contains 7 components, but the big, most important component is the final component called the raving fan culture. When you've achieved that, you're basically an influencer. You're a realtor who's got a book of business. It's just coming in and it's just flowing. Maybe you're optimizing and maximizing, but for the most part, it's a working business model. How many of you on this call can say, you have a working business model, like raving fan, like you're at 7. Who's got a 7 and who's like working on it? Say, put working on it, or I'm at a 7, I got raving fan culture. Awesome. We got some 7s, we got some working on it, right? So we're starting to see where we are in the structure, right? We either could be working on it, we're optimizing, we're marketing, we're trying to build that book of business, or we have that book of business and now we're optimizing and maximizing that book of business. This is the 7 forces of business mastery. According to Tony Robbins, if you were to take each of these and focus on one of them per week, you could literally build your entire business over the course of 52 weeks. So imagine if 1 week, all you focused on was strategy and innovation. Then the next week, all you focused on was marketing. Then the next week was all you focused on is sharpening your sales mastery. Then the next week, all you focused on was how to navigate and take advantage of the financial and legal aspects that are currently trending in the market. And then the next week, all you focused on was optimizing and maximizing your business. And then in the final week, all you focused on was your raving fan culture, your reputation, your reviews, things like that. That would be a 7-week plan. If you rinsed and repeated that for the entire year, guaranteed your business is going to grow. Can you see that? Now, here's the problem. Who knows what the biggest problem is for all of us? Anybody? It starts with the letter D. Distraction. Yes, Mercy nailed it. If we get distracted from our plan, guess what? The plan doesn't happen. If we get distracted and we actually don't invest enough time in marketing or enough time in sales mastery or enough time in optimization, all we're doing is we're running around like a chicken without a head. This is the biggest mistake I see in our business. The biggest mistake I see in everybody's business is we're so distracted trying to do everything that we actually don't do much. Make sense? So if you simply took this Tony Robbins forces of business mastery, and what he says is focus 1 week here, focus 1 week there, focus 1 week there, you have a 7-week model. And then you repeat it, come back, strategic innovation, further improve the strategic innovation. The next week, further improve the marketing. The next week, further improve my sales mastery. The next week, further improve the trends. The next week, further improve optimization, maximization. The next week, further improve raving fan culture. That would allow for almost, 52 weeks, 7, 6. It's like you'd have so many iterations on each of these 7 pieces that they're guaranteed to make progress, guaranteed to grow your business, not just linear, but actually exponentially. Agree or disagree? Put it in the chat. Like this model alone, I know it works. We implemented it in our company. Hands down, amazing model. Focused, action, progress, exponential growth. Makes sense, right? So feel free to take a screenshot of this. This is just one idea of how you have a business plan. Sometimes we overcomplicate our business plans. We just need to follow a plan consistently. Things done consistently, ordinary things done consistently, produce extraordinary results. The problem is we don't do it consistently. We don't have discipline, right? Any ideas on strategic innovation? Of course, Isada. Strategic innovation could be AI. Strategic innovation could be automated social media marketing. Strategic innovation could be a standout listing presentation, right? Strategic innovation could be partnering with a major organization. There's so many different ways, but you want to spend a week thinking about how to strategically innovate. And that would just be 1 week out of the entire year. Now, if you repeated that several times a year, wow, amazing results. What if you just literally took a notebook and like had a page or 3 pages or 5 pages just for strategic innovation? Simple, right? Let me take you to the next model. The next model is called Traction by Gene Wickman. We actually implemented this model in our company too. So what is the Traction model? The Traction model says, once again, interesting, right? There are 7 pieces to the Traction model. Oh, 7 forces of business mastery, 7 pieces to traction, and I'm going to show you 7 circles from another guy. Hey, guess what? It's not that creative, right? Generally speaking, there's also 7 major parts to a business plan. Oh, wow. Like, not so creative, just need to follow the structure, right? So what is the traction model? The traction model is I have a vision that is shared by everybody in my team. I start to track the data, the KPIs, like how many conversations did we have? How many doors did we knock? How many listings did we get? How many leads did we get? What was our conversion ratio? Right? That's the data. Then we start putting in the processes. Every listing has a process. How many of you actually have process documents though? Like, do you have a process for every listing that you go through, like a 27-point checklist process? Some realtors do, some people don't, right? But if you have the process in place, now you've got a structure, right? So for some of you, just building processes might be something for 2026, right? So we have the vision, we have the data, we have the processes, we have the traction, which is how we're growing. Then we have the issues that come up. So the challenges that you run into, that you ran into this year, you want to be able to combat those challenges. And then you want to get the right people in place, whether that be the right mortgage lender, the right title person, the right lawyer, the right ISA, the right buyer representative, the right seller representative, the right client avatar, right? We got to get the people in the right seats. When you have all of that working, guess what? You've got a business. So once again, if you spent 1 week working on your vision and improving and crystallizing that, 1 week you worked on your data, 1 week you worked on your process documents, 1 week you worked on traction and having meetings and outreach, 1 week you worked on your challenges and how to deal with those challenges, and 1 week you worked on your people and making sure you had the right partners, the right lenders, the right client avatar, and you repeated this cycle, you're welcome. Here's another business plan. Make sense? How many people agree that if you followed this structure, 1 per week, stayed focused and had consistency over the course of 52 weeks, you'd have a pretty nice growing business, right? Makes sense? So I just showed you 2 models. I've used both of them. I think they're both great. I choose one every year and I just stick to it. That's the key. Because if I jump ship, I've just distracted. But if I follow through, I'm keeping the course, right? It'd be like getting in my car and taking the GPS with Google Maps, and then suddenly I switch to Yahoo Maps or I switch to like Waze, and it's taking me in a different direction now. No, you can't do that. Once you pick the destination, you stay the course. Alan says, which did I prefer or find better? I prefer the Tony Robbins Business Mastery one, the Forces of Business Mastery. Alan, just so you know. I prefer it because it covers more angles that work for me and I think work for real estate really well. But I'm showing you multiple models because some people might like a different model. Now, here's a model, third model that I'll show you. This model is very interesting. This is the $1 billion bullseye. I don't know if a lot of you know this, but their company called Kajabi was a $1 billion company. It was one of the first companies to hit $1 billion. So the guy who was co-founded Kajabi wrote a book called $1 Billion Bullseye. I met him, I spoke to him, I learned from him. Very, very interesting, great read. And once again, we got a bunch of circles, right? Nothing new here. So people, persuasion, promotion, prestige, product, profit, and purpose. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, wow. This is where it started to get interesting for me. I'm like, everybody's just got like a 7 piece model. Okay. And guess what? They're all pretty much the same. So let's look at what this model has. It says, let's start with the people, right? No, sorry. No, let's start with the people that we're serving, then move to the persuasion, how we're selling them, right? So how are we offering them our services? Then the promotion, how are we promoting ourselves? How are we marketing ourselves? The prestige is like moving towards luxury or moving towards like a more VIP experience, a more comprehensive experience, like going deeper, not wider, building more prestige with our clients. You know what that's like. That's building a really great relationship with your clients. Once you build that great relationship with your clients, you really have a nice product. The product is you and the services that you're providing, which is going to lead to a very high profit margin because you're doing it well at a high commission structure, etc. And then you're going to be on purpose because you're doing what you love. You're promoting the way you want to promote. You have prestige with your clients. You have a product that works. You know you're providing value. You're going to feel like you're on purpose and you're going to have this $1 billion bullseye. So once again, another structure, like what if you worked 1 week on the people and the client avatar that you want to go after. 1 week you worked on persuasion, very similar to sales mastery. 1 week you worked on promotion, very similar to marketing. 1 week you worked on prestige, creating that VIP prestige experience with your clients, which is the raving fan culture. 1 week you worked on your product, like how exactly you're offering your services. 1 week you worked on profit, which is optimizing your revenue, your commissions, your marketing spend, all of that, and then you'll be on purpose. Can we all agree that if you followed this model, 1 week per subject, you'd exponentially grow your business once again? So can you see that it's not the model, everybody? It's not the model. Yes, you need a model. What you need is the discipline and the consistency to do the work. Yes, Tony said it. It's the work, right? So I just want you to share what's your biggest takeaway so far. I just want to start with this because I can give you 50 different models, but that would actually confuse you. In fact, me giving you 3 might confuse you. It's about staying focused and having that GPS and just executing week after week after week, reiterating, right? Reiterating. Stick with one thing and do it well. We often give up before we get to the fruits of our labor because we don't put in the labor. We find the distraction, we find the shiny object, so we drop it and boom. So Hugo says, knowing what to do is nothing unless you implement with consistency and focusing, doing the plan in consecutive and repeat. A model is a guide to keep you focused. Yes, exactly, Alan. That's great. All right. So I could play a video right now about who I am, what I do. I don't think you all need this video at this point, right, Mario? We good to skip the video?
No, I think let's show it.
Yeah?
Why? Because some of the folks that are here, this is their first time. Some folks are new.
Perfect.
Let's see, who's this guy talking to us? Why should we listen?
Yeah, by the way, how many of you,
please keep on sending to us your takeaways.
How many of you are new? Put new on the call, on these calls. If you're a raving fan, put raving fan or RF, so we know how many new people we have. Awesome, I'm new. For those of you that are new, you're getting to know me a little bit. I'm direct, I'm to the point, and I'm standing for your success. That's the most important thing you need to know. And I'm going to play this video so that you understand. I've been in the industry 25 years. My mom was in real estate. I work with the National Association of Realtors as well. They invest in our company, and this video will kind of tell the story. So here you go.
CEO of a Inc. 5000 company, international speaker, tech founder, pitch battle winner, webinar sales expert, digital marketing magician.
Hey, my name is Alex Montalenti, CEO of realgrader.ai and creators of the Instacard, the digital business card, now in use by over 1 million real estate professionals. I've spoken all over the world for various brands like Remax, Coldwell Banker, C21, ERA, EXP, Berkshire Hathaway, you name it, as well as for the National Association of Realtors and at Inman. The real estate industry changed my life. My mom has been in real estate. My entire family has been in real estate. I've been in the industry for over 25 years. And what happened is my mom came from Romania in 1968. She escaped during communism, came to America with nothing. She left her house behind. She left her factory behind. Our family were entrepreneurs, everything they left behind to come to New York City and start a new life. And my mom was lucky enough to meet somebody in real estate, and she became a licensed real estate agent. Now, my mom was terrific with people, but terrible with technology. And I came home during college, and she was struggling with the internet. with digital marketing. She couldn't even get a listing into the computer. So that summer, I helped my mom, I got my license, and I started doing digital marketing. And she closed the biggest deal of her life. It was a $1,000 commission check. Imagine, single mom, 2 kids, $80,000 commission check comes in. That was a game changer for our family. And I got to see the importance of helping realtors with digital marketing, social media, technology. So many agents are overwhelmed by all the tech that's out there. They want to be in the relationship business. They don't want to be techies. They don't want to be Facebook gurus. They don't want to be on Instagram or TikTok. They just want to do real estate. So I created this company called realgrader.ai, and we just hit the Inc. 5000, number 800 fastest growing company. In my sessions, you're going to learn about the power of Google and your online presence. Let's face it, have you Googled yourself lately? Consumers are checking you out online. We're going to teach you how to get your Google business page ranked on the top of Google. We're going to teach you how to get more Google reviews so you build that trust and that likability with your clients. We're going to teach you how to leverage social media, video marketing, AI, Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, all the different channels, and how to leverage that with your entire Google presence. At the end of the day, this business is all about referrals. People are going to look you up online. This industry helped my mom in the hardest time of her life, and what I want to do is speak on as many stages as possible, help relieve stress for real estate professionals, and help them take it to the next level. They deserve the best. They deserve to reach as many people as possible with one of the most stressful transactions of people's lives, which is buying or selling a home. So let's reduce the stress, let's reduce the overwhelm, and let me help the real estate industry with this technology problem.
So there you have it, folks. Just to give you a little background, what'd you think of the video? I think all of you need a video like this, right? I mean, it tells a story. It tells who you are, what you've done, what you've accomplished. It introduces you to the community. I think any realtor who had a professional video done for themselves would actually benefit and win a lot more business because of that. That video is on our YouTube channel. I'm going to give you a link in a second, Ashley. For sure. Awesome. And let me share my screen here. What I want to do for you all right off the bat is give you some value, if I haven't already. We do have a YouTube channel, and we do have all of our trainings posted on our YouTube channel. So if you're new and you want to be added to the training list, you want to receive the invitations for these Friday calls, we do a lot of training here at Real Grader, right? We're dedicated to your success. I believe the industry doesn't set you up to win. Tell me if I'm wrong, but I mean, if you're a brand new agent, I don't think they're setting you up to win so good, right? So I'm trying to create a whole repository of education and resources for realtors to win who are dedicated to actually serving people. So I've created this YouTube channel. You get free access. You get invited to the Friday calls. That's complimentary. And all you got to do is text the word training to this phone number. Once you text the word training, I'm also going to send you these 8 guidebooks. These will help you get optimized on the different platforms. This is complimentary as well. And all the videos on our YouTube are complimentary as well. So once you texted the word training, it's going to, you text the word training to 516-400, and it'll say, add yourself to community. You'll put in your contact information, and boom, you'll receive the links. Once you get the links, say, I got the links in the chat, just so I know it's working for you all. I'll check my community. You'll be added to our community. You'll get invited for as long as you want to until you unsubscribe. So awesome. I see Raj is there. Lisa is there. Kathy's there. Linda's there. Barbara's there. Isada's there. Blondie's there. We got you in there. So once you get the links, just put in the chat, I got the link, so everybody knows that it's working. I'm just trying to give you some value right off the bat, but we got more stuff to get into today. Awesome. I see a lot of people got the links. Sherry, Claudia, Michelle, there you go. And yeah, if you're already in there, you're already in there. No worries. You should be good to go. You can text in again. It'll probably send it to you again. And yeah, Joni, you got the link because you're on the list. Awesome. So let's zoom out for a second, right? We got to create this vision for 2026. And I'm going to ask you questions that are going to help you crystallize that vision, because I believe in the power of visualization. I think that if I can see it, it's going to happen. Okay. I'm going to share one quick story to show you how wild manifestation and visualization is. And this is perfect. My friend Ben wanted to buy a house, his dream house. Okay. The house came on the market. He saw it. He's like, I'm in love with this house. I'm going to buy this house, Alex. What do you think? I'm like, obviously, Ben, can you afford the house? And Ben goes, no, but I want the house. I'm going to make it happen, he says. Okay. His realtor is like, I don't know. Can you make it happen? Right. And Ben's like, I'm going to make it happen. I'm like, Ben, I'm going to be with you. We're going to make this happen. So what does Ben do? He creates the visualization of I'm going to buy this house and I've got 90 days to come up with the down payment. He didn't have the whole down payment, right? Started creating it. Guess what happened? Money started coming in. A book deal came in. An advance on a book deal came in. A sponsor came in. Another revenue source came in. And miraculously, down to the wire, to the very last week, one of his raving fans said, Ben, thanks to you, I transformed my life and my health, and I'm willing to give you a no interest loan for whatever you have left. Miracle or declaration? What do you think? Put it in the chat. Miracle or declaration? Did he visualize it and make it happen? Or did it just like kind of happen? Are we creators or both? Yeah, I like it, right? Are we creators or not? You want to create 2026 or do you want to just see how it goes? I'm inviting you all to create your 2026, right? Can you co-manifest with God, the universe, whatever you believe in? Absolutely. But can we create what we want to create for 2026? If you're with me, say I'm with you. Because I believe in creation. I believe we can create it, right? Amazing. I love it. I'm with you. I'm with you. So first, we got to get present to the reality. I'm not going to discredit reality and say, oh, I just believe in visualization, so I'm just going to sit here and pray and meditate and hope that my year becomes amazing. That's not going to work, right? We can't just like close our eyes and be like, 2026, give me what I want. No, but we got to get present to the reality. So what were your numbers for 2025, right? That's the first thing is we have to clear that 2025, it's basically over. Like whatever is going to happen is probably going to happen. You built what you built. You got the numbers you got, and you got it doing the things that you did. But now you have the opportunity to create a whole new future, and it's not based on the past. Most people will tell you your future is based on your past. I will tell you your future has nothing to do with your past. You could actually give up the entire past and create a whole new future for yourself. I've done this multiple times, right? But you do want to look at the numbers to know I put in the work, what actually happened. So how many of you know your numbers for 2025? Yes or no? Like you've actually studied your numbers for 2025. Barbara says yes. So this is the first homework. You all need to study your numbers for 2025 to know where you stand, right? Did you reach what you wanted to reach? Are you celebrating at the end of this year? We should all celebrate at the end of the year. Whether you hit your numbers or not, I guarantee you made progress in some areas, right? So Doyle says, I know them, but I haven't studied them much. The gold is in studying the numbers, everybody. The gold is in studying your data. Here's why. Okay? Because if we study the data and we study the accomplishments that we had in 2025, we start to recognize what worked and what didn't work. Where did we invest our time and it paid off? Where did we invest our time and we wasted our time? I don't know about y'all, but I don't want to repeat the same nonsense next year that didn't get me results. I want to shed the things that didn't work and put in place more of the stuff that worked. And then I want to creatively create new things that are going to work, right? So we want to study our accomplishments. One of the things I recommend you all do is you write a long list of what you accomplished this year. Complete the year. Mario and I do this all the time. Complete your year. Hey, this is what I accomplished. I'm proud of myself. Acknowledge yourself. Who's going to acknowledge you? Your company? Is your company going to come out with an award and go, here you go, I acknowledge you for such an amazing year this year? No, nobody's going to come acknowledge you. So what do we got to do? The biggest thing I learned is I acknowledge myself. That's guaranteed. So I invite you all to acknowledge yourself. That's gold right there. Acknowledge what you accomplished for the year. See what worked, see what didn't work, so you can see what you're going to put in place. Who's with me on this one? Who's going to acknowledge themselves? Like actually take some time to say, good job, you did it. Here's what you did. You deserve it. You're worthy. You are enough. You did make it. Because without that, are we waiting for somebody to acknowledge us? I don't know. I've been waiting for a long time. Anybody else been waiting for a while for some acknowledgement? It's nice when it comes in, right? But it's not like all the time. The only guarantee is when I acknowledge myself. Linda, what if it wasn't good? That's a great question, Linda. Acknowledge what was good. I guarantee you can find things that were good, right? And then acknowledge what didn't work. It's not that it wasn't good. It just might not have worked or something might have happened, right? And you can acknowledge that and be okay with that too.
I just want to bring up a very important concept too,
Yeah.
that has to do with accomplishments, with setting out a vision and then seeing that it wasn't a match in reality. If you had a goal that was this big, but you only got halfway there, or it took a lot longer than you expected, in our culture, we learn to punish failure. We learn to condemn people that don't achieve things, that they're not fast enough, that they're not hard workers, that they're lazy. And it's not really true. In reality, we fail so that we can realize the things that don't work. We get to see what didn't work, so the next time around, now we're prepared. Now we are wiser. But there's no such thing as you having a bad performance. You're a bad person and you don't deserve success. No, it just is giving you feedback. You're noticing the feedback. Okay, great. What do I do next that's going to work for me? We're constantly evolving. And this is our opportunity to really acknowledge what an amazing person you are. You're still alive. You're taking care of yourself. You believe in yourself. You believe in evolution. That's not how most people live their lives. Most people live their lives just to see what happens each day. If there's food, great, there's food. There's no food, okay, we'll go hungry. You're actually somebody who's creating your life. You're acknowledging and you're looking at everything and looking for what's the opportunity. How can I grow? And you're humble enough to say, you know what? I know I didn't perform at my highest performance. I know I could do more, and I didn't. And that takes something that's really admirable of you. So take the time to love on you. Don't condemn yourself. Don't punish yourself. Acknowledge where you made mistakes, learn from them, and give yourself the biggest encouragement you can possibly give yourself for the next year because it is you. Nobody else is going to recognize your value more than you.
That's it. I mean, you look around sometimes and you're like, where is everybody? Guess what? It's you, right? So yeah, that's beautiful. The lessons you can learn from the previous year, those are gold, right? The celebration. Everybody, don't forget to celebrate. It's the end of the year. Wherever you got is where you got. Let's celebrate the wins. Let's celebrate the gains, not just study the gaps. This is a very important part of the business planning process because here's the thing. If you bring lack and you bring the I'm not good enough and you bring the I didn't do enough and you bring the this is all the shit that didn't work into your business planning, guess what you literally just did? You brought all the into the future. No. Don't make that mistake. That's a vicious cycle. We all do this. We bring the past into the future. We think that's a good idea. Let it go. The year is over. You did what you did. Amazing. You didn't do what you didn't do. Amazing. And once you clear all that, you got a whole world of possibility, right? We got to come from a clean canvas for 2026, not a contaminated canvas. In fact, it should be a canvas that is like, hey, I did so much that now I can do even more. Okay. And when you look at your year, you will actually see where your business came from. How many of you actually know where your business came from in 2025? And I ask a lot of realtors this question and they don't always know, like how many deals came from Google? How many deals came from Facebook? How many deals came from referrals? Which referrals? Which referring person gave you the most deals? Which town gave you the most business? Which listings had the highest ROI, right? And I generally get the general answers that I'm getting, like 65% referral and past clients. Great. Specifically who? Is there somebody that you should be taking to lunch? Is there somebody that you should be taking to dinner who gave you more than one referral that you should be investing in more? Is there a farm list that you use that produced a lot of business that you should be doubling down on? Is there a Google strategy that you did that really worked that you need to be doubling down on? Because when you can identify where your business came from, that's why the data is so important. Like I know that a majority of my business came from EXP, Coldwell Banker, ERA, Century 21. I'm doubling down there this year. Make sense? If you know where your business came from, you know where to double down. That's the predictable revenue piece. Then there's the unpredictable. So how many of you are really clear? Like you could literally break it down into a really clean chart of where every single deal came from. That's your homework, okay? Very important. Many people skip this. How many of you don't have this? Be honest. And how many of you have this? Like you literally know where every single deal came from. You know where to double down. I see some yeses, but I don't see a lot, right? This is very, very important. Yeah, Alan says I need to review more deeply. Go back to all your transactions and source the transaction. And if you're not tracking it going forward, start tracking it going forward. But if you just went back and sourced all your deals, you would know exactly where your business is coming from. Super important. Okay. Then you know what worked and where you can double down. This alone is like one of the best chess moves in your business, right? If you know where to double down, that's literally predictable revenue for you. What were your highest return on investment marketing channels? Do you know this? Did you invest in Zillow this year? Did you invest in realtor.com? Did you invest in Google marketing? Did you invest in RealGrader? Like, you got to look at your ROI, right? Some things have a direct ROI, some things have a marketing ROI. Regardless, you want to know, what did you invest in and how did it return? Because that's going to tell you where to double down as well. Make sense? What are the 3 new marketing channels that you can test for 2026? Like, put it in the chat. What are 3 new marketing channels that you've been thinking about trying for 2026? Maybe that's postcards. Maybe that's social media, right? Maybe that's buying leads from somewhere. I don't know. Maybe that's doubling down on your referrals, right? What are 3 new marketing channels that you want to test for 2026? And I like to work in threes because it keeps you focused. So what were the top 3 revenue sources? What were the top 3 marketing channels, right? What are the top 3 things you can focus on for 2026 that's going to drive your business? Who were your top 3 referral people that you can double down and invest in them? Okay. Then I'm going to give you, are we doing good so far? How many of you are getting some good information here, at least thinking about some good questions, right? Awesome. Here's my vision framework. I did this a couple weeks ago for a lot of you. Just going to review it really quickly. My vision framework for building a business, for building a powerful life, not just a business, because it's not just about business, it's about everything, right? Is to have the vision, then have the identities of who I am being, who I'm becoming in my business, who I'm becoming in my family, who I'm becoming in my relationship, who I'm becoming in my social, who I'm becoming in my contribution. So have those identities, then put in the structures. The structures could be the business plan I gave you at the beginning of the session, 1 week, 1 week, 1 week. The structures could be your daily routine. The structures could be your business plan. The structures could be your daily habits. The structures could be blocking time in your calendar. Without the structures, it's chaos. Let's face it. The structures are the scaffolding to hold your vision in place. And you need to have integrity with your structures, or once again, it doesn't work. It's chaos. If you're lying about keeping your structures, guess what? Like, if you all go out and say, I love your Tony Robbins business mastery plan, Alex, I'm going to follow that every week. And then 3 weeks in, you stop following it. What's going to happen? No structure, no integrity. Business plan doesn't work. So the structures and the integrity are really the core of getting shit done. Once you have the structures and the integrity, you're going to get the outcomes. Once you have the outcomes, you naturally have a growing business. That's my vision framework. I go into more detail on this, right? But you're all born to do something great. You're not average. You're not ordinary. You're extraordinary. I strongly believe in human potential. You're all extraordinary. Just we all get stuck in our minds with our mindset, with our sabotage, with our distractions, right? So now I'm going to ask you again, now that we have a little more clarity, what is your vision for 2026? We've been asking some questions. We've been thinking a little bit deeper. Now I want you to kind of further crystallize, what is your vision for 2026? What are you looking to accomplish? Who are you looking to become? It could be any statement. I'm just further building this with you all, right? We're building a vision plan here. Let's see, who's with me? What do you got? Isada says more structure. I want to focus and be more consistent in what I plan. I love it. Review what I'm currently doing and improve. Consistency, structure, start a better marketing system, more discipline, and be true to myself. There we go. Right? We're crystallizing something. We're creating something new, right? Structure and consistency. Because at the end of the day, like I said, it's not about the plan. It's not the doing. It's the being. Who are you going to be in 2026? Are you going to be a self-saboteur? How's that going to work out? Or are you going to be somebody that's going to be focused? How's that going to work out? Or are you going to be somebody with structure? Amazing. How's that going to work out? Are you going to be somebody who's better in marketing, who's got more consistency? Amazing. Who are you going to be? Not what are you going to do? Big distinction, right? And then who are you being in 2025? This is a tough question, everybody. Who are you being in 2025? You know, I'm going to tell you, who was I being? Pushover, right, Mario?
Yes, sir.
So if I'm being a pushover, that means I'm really not standing at like my full potential. I'm actually people pleasing. I'm like trying to make people happy, all of this, versus really standing for my full potential. If I'm standing for my full potential, I'm not going to be a pushover. I'm not going to tolerate it. I'm going to get what I want. Right. So who I'm being in 2026 is something else. But I needed to kind of look at 2025 and be like, who was I being that maybe I didn't get the results I wanted to get. Right. So Barbara, I love the honesty. She says no follow through. Right. We all have that. So now, who do you need to be in 2026 to accomplish what you want to accomplish? Doyle says being present in 2026. Very important question. Like, who are you going to be in 2026? Who are you becoming? Because if you're going to be somebody that has structure and focus and consistency and discipline, who are you going to be? You're going to be structured, disciplined, and focused. That's a big difference between like, I'm just going to see how it goes, right? So you might want to create your theme for the year. Mario, what's your theme for 2026?
My theme for 2026 is a year of impact.
There you go. For me, my theme for 2026 is depth, wealth, and focus. Anybody have a theme for 2026? Let's hear your themes. It's always good to have a theme because it's like at the end of the year, you can go, did I get that? Did I get depth? Did I get wealth? And was I focused? That's what I'm going to be looking for. I'm going to celebrate at the end of 2026 that I went so deep with my clients. And because I went so deep and I created this VIP experience, the wealth was organic. And because I focused, I had peace of mind that I was making progress and going deep, and the wealth was happening because I was focused and I wasn't distracted. And I already see it. Like it's the end of 2026. And I'm like, man, I crushed it. I was so focused. I had depth. And look at all this wealth, byproduct of my depth and my focus. I love it. People like confidence, boldness, kindness, eliminating limiting beliefs, development, positive growth. So Charlie Munger said, go an inch wide and a mile deep. That's depth, wealth, and focus for me, right? So what you're going to see with me is that I'm going to be focused and I'm going to be quietly kicking distractions ass. I just came up with this earlier today and it inspired me. I said, you know what? I'm going to be so focused that I'm going to be like silent, kicking distractions ass. Anybody inspired by that? Like for me, this is inspiring. Like, because I'm usually pretty distracted and I kind of like, oh, that's shiny and that's good. And let's do that. And let's do that. But I'm going to be like so focused and quietly kicking distractions ass that at the end of the year, nobody's going to know what just happened.
And by the way, be aware that distraction is not always as obvious. It may not be that you're in front of your phone looking at Instagram. It might be that you're in an argument with somebody and don't want to get off that argument. Instead of just moving on with life and focusing on your primary goal, you're just distracted because you're upset. You might be distracted because the money you didn't achieve, and you're just blaming yourself. All those things count as distractions, and it's not really taking you where you want to go to. So be very aware. What are the sources currently that are your primary distractors?
I love it. So, I mean, life has all these areas, right? Like life has spiritual, religion, health, wealth, business, relationship, family, social contribution. We're talking about a business plan, but the truth is, if you're not operating in all the areas of life and making progress in all areas of life, there's going to be some lack of fulfillment, right? Like, oh, I'm so good in my business, but my relationship is falling to pieces. Oh, I'm so good in my business, but my health is mess, right? Or I'm so generous, but my wealth is suffering, right? So we got to look at all the areas when you're looking at your business plan as well. I like to measure myself at the end of the year and say, how would I rate myself 1 through 10 in each area of life? Okay. Now, as you go out there, you're creating a new version for 2026. So like maybe before this moment, you were not disciplined, you were indecisive, I was not being responsible. And then after this moment, I can be disciplined, committed, and decisive, responsible, and unstoppable. It's literally a decision, everybody. We make it out to be this long dance. I tell my team all the time, like, straight line or squiggly line? Which one do you want? The squiggly line takes forever. The straight line takes you straight through. So you make a decision how you want the year to go, and you start making it happen. And to accomplish our goal, we must distill our dreams into daily actions. So if you own the day and you own your calendar and you own your actions and you stay focused throughout the day, in 365 days, it's a miracle. It's exponential growth, right? Problem is sometimes we try to think too big, like, oh, it's 365 days. No, it's one day times 365. It's really 18 hours that you get to choose how you want that to go. And guess what? Most of that choice is made within the first hour of the day. How many of you know that either the first hour of the day can determine if you're going to have a great day or a shitty day by how you're thinking about the day. It's literally right there in that first hour. It's like, I'm either deciding this is going to be a shitty day and everything's going to be annoying, or I'm going to be kicking ass, right? So we're not talking about that much time, actually. We're actually talking about the discipline and the decisiveness and the decision to own the time. I just heard Rob Rydick say, you create time. I literally create how my day is going to go. I create how my team day is going to go, how my family day is going to go. Because if I wake up on the wrong side of the bed, guess what? It ain't good for nobody. Watch out, world. Mario's already off camera because he knows how that goes, right? Or I wake up with gratitude, in my abundant state, full of possibility and miracles, and I have the most amazing day and everybody around me is celebrating in its magic, right? Think about that with your clients. But you get what you tolerate, right? So if we tolerate that kind of life, guess what? You're going to get that life all day long. I've been there. I'm 48 years old. I've only really lived a full life, I'd say at 44 and up. Up until then, I would say I was close to zombie land, right? And I was getting what I tolerated. So I start thinking about how I'm going to do things now. I invite you all to think about it too, is like, take some time to think. How do you want the year to go? How do you want your day to go? It's your life, right? I look at myself in the mirror, I go, what do I want this guy to do today? This book is wild. 10x is easier than 2x. Anybody read this book? This book is gold. Actually, there's a famous realtor mentioned in this book. Yeah, it's my favorite book, says Mercy. Not yet, says Alan. Susan says yes. This book, third favorite book. Number 1, The Science of Getting Rich. Number 2, The Road Less Stupid. Number 3, 10x is easier than 2x. Those are my top 3 books. In this book, it shows you this marble, this rock. Some people see this and they go, it's a rock. So what? This is your day. This is a representation of your day. The day is a rock. What's your context about your day? What's your context about the rock? For Michelangelo, he saw this rock and he said, I'm going to create the statue of Hercules. From this rock, he saw Hercules. What do you see? Rock or Hercules? You get it? Big shift here. What is our context about our 2026? What is the context about our day? What is the context about our life? What is the context about our life, our business? Because it's not about the content. We all have the same content. Market conditions suck. Interest rates are X. Ooh, it's tough out here. That's the content. Everybody's got the same content. What's your context about 2026? Going to make the difference. Who's with me here? Context versus content. And I know we're over time, so for those of you that can stick around, and for those of you that can't, I hope you got tons of value today. But I'm going to cover one last piece here because it's important. When I think about the context of my life, the context of my business, it's easy for me to say, I'm going to double my business today, right? Easy. That's transactional growth. But what if I wanted to 10x my business? That's exponential. That would require a different mindset. What if I wanted to 12.5x my business? That would require even next level thinking. That's expanding your mindset, right? And to double the business, I can come up with 100 ways for you all to double your business. That's easy. Do this marketing, do that marketing, come up with this list, come up with that. But if I said I need you to 10x your business in 90 days, you wouldn't come up with that many ideas. There's only a few ideas that could 10x your business in 90 days. So there's actually less, not more. But here's the problem. We are all bogged down with all the things we could be doing. So as you approach your business planning for 2026, don't think about all the things you could be doing. Think about the 3 things that would make the biggest difference. Maximum the 7 things, like the 7 that I gave you in the beginning, and focus on those. Invest wholeheartedly in yourself. Believe in yourself, believe in your focus, that if you did these 3 things, your business would exponentially grow. Because that's how the big boys do it. That's how the big girls do it. They focus. You ask any billionaire, what is the reason for their success? They were able to focus. They didn't follow the shiny object. They weren't distracted. Yes, they think outside the box, but there's fewer paths to exponential growth. There's fewer paths. There is less work to exponential growth. Not more work, smarter work, focused work. 3 ways to get there, not 100 different ways. 100 ways gets you nowhere. Put 100 ways in your GPS. Put 100 destinations in your GPS and see what your GPS says, right? Put 1 destination, put 3 locations, and you've got a direction, right? So less is more, everybody. And when Michelangelo was asked, how did you come up with the statue of David? He said, I created a vision of David in my mind and simply carved away everything that was not David. This is my favorite quote, everybody. Think about this for your business. What if in 2026, you carved away everything that is not you and you focused on the things that are going to drive your business forward? Do you think that would make a difference? Who's with me? We don't have to make our lives so difficult, everybody. This is the biggest thing I learned in the past 2 years growing our company. The less I did, the more I focused, the bigger the results. Not the more I did and the more distracted I was. The less I did, the more I focused, the bigger the results. Context versus content. You only have so much time. My time is valuable. Your time is valuable. I love it. Melly says, yeah, I'm always overthinking everything. I'm burned out thinking about it, and then I move on because it's too much. Your time is valuable, everybody. Pick your top 3 focuses. This is my last thoughts here. And think about, if you compress time, if we only had 90 days to do it, wouldn't you think differently? You wouldn't do everything. You do the 3 things that really matter, right? So as you do this, I invite you, this is my model, grace. Have gratitude, enjoy the journey, focus on your results, go all in, celebrate the wins, and make progress and excellence, and acknowledge yourself for the progress. And how are you going to celebrate at the end of 2026? That's important. Like, set a goal. Like, when I get there, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take myself to Italy for 2 weeks. I deserve it. I work for 365 days. I'm taking myself on that trip, right? What are you cutting this year? Who are you focusing on? Who's your dream 100 clients? How many people are in your database? Are you connecting with people on social media this year? I'm just asking you questions so you think. Do you use your CRM? What was about the grace? Gratitude. Yeah, gratitude, results, all in, celebration, and excellence. That's what I teach my family, and that's what I teach my business. Those are our company values. Do you have a solid listing presentation? Are you going to use lead magnets? I mean, these are all the doings. Are you going to have a funnel this year? All the doings, but who are you being? Are you going to have a digital marketing system? What are you taking off your plate this year? Carving away everything that's not David. What are you delegating this year? Carving away the things that are a waste of your time, right? Will you be an empowered AI agent using AI to save you time? Do you block time on your calendar and use your calendar? Are you reputation building? A lot of questions, right? Because you need to take time to think. We're all running without thinking. I'm guilty too. But when I think, man, I get a whole different perspective. A business can be built strictly on referrals if you take the time to think on how to build the business. So I invite you, 2026, what about your 5-year vision? What about your 3,000-year vision? Rome was built almost 3,000 years ago. I like to go deep, everybody, as you can tell. So this concludes our session. If you saw value in today's session, let me know in the chat. What was your biggest takeaway? I'm not here to sell you anything. I'm here to invite you to share your biggest takeaway. I'm here to sell you on you, that you have great potential, that you are probably not taking the time to think about your business plan as much as you could, right? You're not taking the time to acknowledge yourself as much as you could. And I invite you to do that. I love it. Carol says, carve away everything that's not David, decide, set goals. Very grateful. This is a great one. I like your theme for the year. Focus and zero in on a plan. Thank you for helping me acknowledge myself. I love that. 3 things, don't overwhelm yourself. And if you love today's session and you want to say some nice words, so that I can acknowledge and read them over the weekend, scan this QR code, give us a 5-star review on Google. I'm going to put the link in the chat, realgraderreview.com. Love to read your reviews. I do read through those. They make me feel amazing at the end of the week. And I'm here to support you all. This is what we do here at Real Grader. We're committed to your success. We're committed to helping you in your business, in your planning, in your marketing, in your digital, whatever the case may be. Love to read some reviews from you. And if you need help with your vision for 2026, I don't have anything that I'm selling you right now, but we are working on a vision year blueprint. So if you want information about our future vision year blueprint, you can text the word vision and we'll keep you on the list once we have that built out. I plan to have that by January, but I want to create something that's really going to move the needle for you, something that's really going to dial it in for you and give you the templates for how to take it to the next level. So I thank you all for today. Let me know in the chat 1 through 10, how much did you love today's session? I know it's very different, but I think it's what's needed at this point of the year. Mario, anything you want to add?
Again, thanks all of you. You guys came in, you brought yourselves, you put yourselves in this class, as you call it, this conversation. We are empowering you. We're giving you the tools, we're giving you the work we've done that took years, that took trials, that took lots of money, that took lots of failures to bring this to you. If some of you guys are new, you've been in the industry for more than 30 years, you understand that every day is an opportunity. So it doesn't matter how it used to be back then. Now what counts is what are you going to do about it today, and how much bigger that opportunity is today than it used to be years ago. And if you're brand new in the industry, you're just trying to figure out which route to take, what's the best plan of action, who should I follow, you have been empowered with some of the best tools that top industry leaders in the entire nation utilize. We are honored that we have been in contact, and we continue to be in contact with some of the best minds in the industry. So you have the best you can expect. So definitely stay connected. Use our text line to send your questions, your ideas. Stay connected to the vision. We're going to provide you more. 2026 is going to be the best year ever.
Yes. And I invite you, for those of you that are new, if you enjoyed today's session, click on the link, realgraderreview.com, give us 5 stars, share what you learned in today's session, what inspired you about it. We do this every Friday, covering different topics. One week we do YouTube, one week we do visioneering, one week we do LinkedIn, one week we do Google reviews, all of it to keep you all moving forward, moving in the right direction. I'm glad to hear Cindy. She says, I needed this. Thank you. Absolutely, Cindy. I just did the review, says Julia. Thank you, Julia. I appreciate you. And if any of you feel like you need help with building out your business plan, text the word vision. I do have some templates that our business coaches provide to us that I'm going to be sharing. So if you want to be on that list, just text the word vision to 516-400-4161. Awesome, Alan. I love to hear that. Time well spent. Let's face it, we all got limited time each day. So if you're here an hour with me, I take it very seriously. Take my classes very seriously. I try to give you my all because you're taking the time, right? You're putting in the work. Thank you, Mario, for marketing this and getting everybody on board. See a lot of people texted in. Kathy, Serge, Sheila, Ashley, Terry, Asada, Dee, all texted in Vision. Michelle, we got you. Any final words, Mario, before we go? Just a smile, huh? All right, you're muted.
I'm already ready. I'm ready to go. Thank you, everyone. See you on the next one.
Have a great weekend, everybody.